Good evening and welcome to ITV News. This is a Friday night's calendar with Michael Billington and Tina Gelder.
Hello there, thanks for joining us. Here are tonight's main stories.
It looks as if there's no hope for Summerland, without a shadow of a doubt.
The forgotten disaster, half a century on, and finally recognition for one victim of the Summerland fire, which claimed 50 lives.
My mum's name has now been placed in the Book of Remembrance there. So we weren't allowed to bring her home. There is no record of her being there, and it is really, really important to me that she's recognised in that way.
Post Office inquiry latest. Former Chief Executive Paula Venables admits the treatment of a bankrupted Scarborough sub-postmaster was unforgivable.
Also on the programme tonight,
I'm live at Ellen Road, building up to Sunday's Championship playoff final between Leeds United and Southampton, down at Wembley.
And a heads up if you're travelling down for that game, as well as if you're staying a little closer to home for the bank holiday weekend. Will it be sunscreen or sou'wester? All the detail a little later on.
Thanks for watching. First tonight, a victim of one of the biggest fire disasters since the Second World War has finally been officially recognised more than half a century after she died.
yes, the remains of Jackie Hallam's mother were never returned to her family in Huddersfield after she died along with 49 other holidaymakers when flames engulfed the Summerland entertainment complex on the Isle of Man.
Jackie escaped the flames, but her best friend also died. Now, lawyers for bereaved relatives like Jackie are getting closer in their campaign for fresh inquests. Katie Oscroft has our main story.
Jackie Hallam was on holiday with her best friend when Jane died. They were teenagers and with Jackie's mother Lorna.
I've visited Jane's grave here on a very regular basis for 51 years, and I just have had to remember both of them there.
It looks as if there's no hope for Summerland, without a shadow of a doubt.
Lorna, Jane and 48 others died in this horrific fire on the Isle of Man. This was a holiday complex built in haste with cladding which allowed flames to spread in minutes.
If I allow myself to go there, my memories are very, very clear. And it still impacts me every day of my life in one way or another.
An emotional gathering on the island last year marked half a century since it happened. It also marked a determination to overturn inquest verdicts from years ago of misadventure, which survivors say implied their loved ones took a risk.
It was a wrong verdict and we deserve justice. We deserve justice, we deserve the history books to be correct. And it suggests that our loved ones, it was some form of some blame of their own, and it was not.
As the scar Summerland left behind remains a feature of this island, lawyers for the families have informed its Attorney General they will formally ask for fresh inquests.
When we look at the set of facts and we look at even the inquiry report, this goes much more and goes further and beyond that of an accident. And that is why the families feel very, very strong that the verdict is indeed the wrong one. Through the expert evidence, much more detail could be told, much more detail could be found, and indeed the truth could be established.
And as the campaign moves forward, so too does Jackie Hallam's personal fight to honour her mother's memory.
My mum's name has now been placed in the Book of Remembrance there at Douglas Crematorium, and I'm going to see that. So we weren't allowed to bring her home. There is no record of her being there, and it is really, really important to me that she's recognised in that way.
The Isle of Man government has apologised for what happened. A public inquiry soon after the disaster highlighted flaws in the safety of the building, but relatives say there are still lessons to be learned from a tragedy which ended, altered and ruined countless lives. Katie Oscroft, ITV News.
Now, the former Post Office Chief Executive Paula Venables has admitted that the treatment of bankrupted sub-postmaster Lee Castleton from Scarborough was unforgivable. She was speaking at the inquiry into the Horizon IT scandal. In response to questions from Edward Henry KC, Reynolds told the inquiry that she wasn't personally responsible from preventing Mr Castleton from joining a scheme for those who believed they had been wrongly prosecuted, but that he was treated inadequately.
His case was not taken through the scheme. I personally wasn't involved in the decision, but the Post Office took the decision based on legal advice.
Yes.
It was wrong, Mr Henry. I completely agree with that. And what happened to Mr Castleton is unforgivable.
Well, Lee Castleton was listening into that evidence at the inquiry today. This was his reaction.
I have a lot of empathy for anybody who cries, and I feel it very deeply, having been through the situations that my family and I have been through. But the honesty is, no matter what happens, I'm sure that Paula Reynolds and all of the executive committee will never, ever cry as much as the victims or my family. And for that, you know, I'll never forgive any of them, really.
Next tonight, it's described as the single richest game of football in the world. We're talking, of course, about the Championship playoff final, where the winners will see their bank balance increase by at least £140 million.
Well, that's not nothing, is it?
It's not, is it?
And Leeds United will hope to land that massive windfall when they take on Southampton at Wembley on Sunday, where they'll be cheered on by more than 36,000 fans. Arif Ahmed has been looking ahead to that all-important game.
The terraces at Ellen Road have been a wall of noise this season. On Sunday, 36,000 raucous Leeds supporters will be waving their scarves again, this time at Wembley in the playoff final. Today it was the calm before the storm. At Leeds Trinity, the city showed their support with a 25-metre portrait of manager Daniel Farke on the roof of the shopping centre.
It's one of the best I've seen in Leeds so far. That, awesome.
And what do you rate Leeds' chances this weekend?
We're going to destroy Southampton.
I was just walking through today, I looked up and like, wow, you know, it's really striking. It's made everybody smile as well, that's always a good thing. So, yeah, 10 out of 10.
I think it's fantastic. Leeds celebrating football and everything, I think it's amazing.
Don't like to watch my face too much, but the most important topic is this players are in the spotlight. So I really truly believe it's a players game. It's not like chess between the coaches. I'm there to help my players, so there should be the faces of Georgie Rutter and Chris Somerville and Joel Pirot and Ilan Meslier. Hopefully they can be in the spotlight again on Sunday.
The prize of promotion will bring more than just Premier League football to the city. In what stopped the richest game in world football, a win would be worth at least £140 million to the club, with the region also taking a slice of the winnings.
It's the people that come into the region and the city, stay in the hotels, spend the money in bars and restaurants that wouldn't usually be there. That's where we talk about the kind of economic benefit for the city. The feel-good factor as well amongst the city and the fans of being in the Premier League is much bigger and by definition gives you more exposure and for the club, more money.
Leeds' relationship with the playoffs, though, hasn't been a loving one. They've lost their last 3 finals, but after a thumping win over Norwich in last Thursday's semi-final, the players believe that run could be about to change.
We all want one thing, and that's to be promoted with this club, and the best team on the day will get to walk up downstairs and lift that trophy. And if we do what we know we can, and we reach our maximum, there's every chance that could happen.
Playoff final, winner goes to the Premier League. How do you embrace that? Do you just go out and enjoy it? Because these are games with massive pressure on.
Yeah, it's massive pressure, but me, I'm more exciting, you know, and it's the game, like maybe you never play another game like this in your life. So we have to give everything, and we will see what happens.
After 10 months and 48 games of football, it all comes down to one final match, and the fans will be there in their numbers with unwavering support. Arif Ahmed, ITV News.
Well, let's take you live to Ellen Road now, where Chris Stokes is waiting for us this evening. Chris, it almost looks deserted there at the moment, but I'm sure it'll be a different picture come Sunday morning.
It will, Michael. You know it will, because there's going to be thousands of fans here on Sunday morning boarding those coaches down to Wembley. I'm joined by a few of them now. We've got Alexis, Grandma Heidi and Andrew as well. Let's come to you, Alexis, first, because I understand this is going to be your first trip to Wembley. How much are you looking forward to it? What are you looking forward to?
The match.
Yeah.
And the winning.
What do you think the score's going to be?
3-1.
To Leeds, of course.
Yeah.
Let's hope so. Heidi, let's come to you. That sounds good, doesn't it? But you've been to Wembley many times watching Leeds United. We've not been that lucky, have we, watching Leeds over the past few years?
No, I mean, we've had a lot of disappointments at Wembley, but we've got a chance and we've got to take it this time. And it could be our year this time, so you've just got to hope that that's what's going to happen.
Remind us of your first trip to Wembley watching Leeds United.
Yeah, I was lucky and privileged to be at the 1972 FA Cup final. The whole day was magical. We had community singing with Tommy Steele wearing white for Leeds United. The Abide With Me and the national anthem sung by the whole stadium was just awe-inspiring. And seeing Billy Bremner, my hero, lift the cup from Her Majesty the Queen, well, those memories have stayed with me forever.
Fantastic. And what about this one? How do you think it's going to go?
I'm hopeful that it's third time lucky against Southampton. They've beaten us twice this season. And, you know, we've just got to go out there and enjoy the occasion. The fans need to get to be the 12th man again, recreate the atmosphere from last week. It was just absolute fantastic. Get them scarves going and hopefully the team can respond on the pitch.
Let's come to Andrew Dalton, better known to the Leeds fan base as Stats. Andrew, we've not scored at Wembley for a while watching Leeds United,
yes.
So what do you think it's going to be like on Sunday?
Well, it's 11,614 days exactly on Sunday that we last scored in the Charity Shield, a certain Frenchman, back on August the 8th, 92. So it'll be unbelievable to see Leeds score. Obviously, we've not got a great record in playoff finals. Recently lost 3-0 at Watford in Cardiff and lost at Doncaster in 2008 as well. So if we do take the lead and see 40,000 Leeds United fans, that's to be fantastic.
Andrew, thank you so much. Heidi and Alexis, enjoy the game on Sunday. Well, there you go. These fans are confident that Leeds United can do it. Join me later in the programme when we'll be hearing from not one but two bona fide Leeds legends.
Thank you very much, Chris. Well, do stay with us for that and for the weather forecast in that there London and closer to home.
Yes, a lot of people hoping that the bank holiday weekend weather will stay fair. This was last weekend in Filey. This was today in Filey. I'll have all the detail for the whole of the region a little later on.
Let's get some more of the day's news now. And an uninsured learner driver who hit and killed a father and son while they were cycling in Cudworth has been jailed for 12 years for dangerous driving. 36-year-old Paul Yates lost control of his car while trying to overtake another vehicle before colliding with 44-year-old Dean Jones and his 16-year-old son Lewis Daines on Royston Road in January 2023. Sheffield Crown Court heard Yates then fled the scene with his airbag deployed and bonnet raised before crashing into a car, injuring a woman and her children. Now, in exactly 6 weeks after millions of votes have been counted, we should know which party's in power and which party leader has picked up the keys to number 10.
Yes, but in this general election in our part of the world, a number of boundary changes has created some brand new constituencies. One of those is Doncaster East and the Isle of Haxholme. Well, this new seat takes parts of 3 former constituencies, Don Valley, Briggangool and Doncaster North.
Well, Emma Wilkinson has been finding out from those living there what they want to see from an incoming government.
Around the time these flowers begin to bloom, a new political landscape might also be unfolding here. The historic market town of Epworth forms part of a new constituency that in July will bring together communities from here in North Lincolnshire with some over the border in South Yorkshire. So as people shopped for their summer bedding plants today, we asked them how they feel about a summer election.
The old traditional industries have gone, therefore, money has to come into the region in order to move forward. So if Labour have plans to make that happen, well, bring it on, really.
I've probably decided already who I'm going to vote for. It'll probably be Conservative, because I can't vote Labour. But it's not going to make any difference, is it? Whoever's in charge is going to mess it up.
Here in Epworth, plans are currently being considered to redevelop this site and create a new garden centre, a medical facility and a supermarket. Views on the plans have been mixed, but some think they represent investment and economic growth that's much needed.
I think it's a good thing for Epworth. It'll create more jobs. This place needs to be modernised, and a doctors is definitely needed around here. So I think it's mostly positive.
And many want a government that recognises the need to invest in places like this.
This sort of levelling up idea has been in the news for a very, very long time. However, it's harder to see the actual effect of any such levelling up.
Anything that can bring more money and people and more life into the place, the better.
Over the county border, the former mining town of Thorn is also part of this new constituency. Historically a Labour area, it currently has a Conservative MP. Local newspaper editor Melvin says local issues matter a lot to people here.
They'll tell you about buses, they'll tell you about the cost of living. Thorn probably feels as though it's maybe missed out a little bit in not getting that levelling up money. There's probably a case to be made for investment in the town centre. I mean, you only have to look at some of the paths and roads and things, and it is screaming out for a little bit of an investment. Well, that's not to say that we haven't had some.
But the women at this Thursday club were struggling to feel enthusiastic about the upcoming election.
I will be voting Labour, but I think whoever's in, they will do what is good for them.
And whatever the politics are, the younger generation is going to find it much, much harder than we ever did.
They're getting on the housing ladder, they've got no chance at all. I just feel angry for them.
Here at least many crave change for the future, but are also sceptical that any party can truly deliver it. Emma Wilkinson, ITV News.
Emma, thank you. Now, the ITV Evening News continues at 6:30. Here's a look at what's happening with Charlene White.
Coming up in the ITV Evening News, tough questions at the post office inquiry. Former boss Paula Venables breaks down during her final day of questioning. Lawyers representing the workers say she's living in a cloud of denial. Cuts coming to household energy bills, but could we see even more? Leaders clash over how to lower them on the campaign trail. And we're at Wembley as it gears up for tomorrow's all-Manchester affair for the FA Cup final. So join us for those stories and more from 6:30.
Charlene, thank you. Now then, Keza, come on. Some good news, please. Bank holiday weekend.
It's fairly mixed, you know, but it's not a washout, I promise. There will be some sunshine around at times. A few little pointers I need to point out. Overnight tonight, we've got clear skies developing through the night, and that will allow for the temperatures to dip. So these are our rural spots, and 3 or 4 is about low enough for a touch of grass frost. So if you have got a few delicates in the garden, something to just be aware of. Not widespread, but definitely colder compared to the last week where our overnight temperatures have been in double figures. But that means a bit of sunshine tomorrow. But if you can see on this chart, it's a bit of an east-west split. I wanted to point out the sun is still very strong, even if we've got cloud, and we have a moderate to high sunburn risk, which is also a big point if you're heading down to Wembley, because we are expecting some sunshine there as well for that game on Sunday afternoon, and we are expecting a few showers. These are the 4 fronts that are coming through during the early hours of Sunday, so if you're travelling from Leeds down into London, north to south, expect some showery outbreaks as we head through into Sunday. Low pressure is in charge, but it will be a mixture. And I promised a heads up as we head into next week, because of course the kids are off school, low pressure lining up from the Atlantic. There will be showers along with spells of rain, but I promise in between these systems there will be some sunshine. It's not a complete washout.
Same old story.
But we stay positive. It's Friday, so I've got some photos for you. A big thank you to Janet for this cheeky fox, looking for some snacks, I think, for his bank holiday long weekend. Looking to the west for the best of the sunshine, here's Andy Dennison, and a tawny owl having a little afternoon snooze. But I wanted to show you this video of some tawny owlets in Barry's back garden. They have fledged this week after 5 weeks in his back garden. How cool
Gorgeous pictures, as usual. Thank you very much, Kerry.
Of course.
Now, before we go back to Chris at Elland Road, some news that will have Sheffield Wednesday fans breathing a huge sigh of relief. Yes, their manager Danny Rowell, the man who masterminded Wednesday's great escape to keep them in the Championship, has extended his contract. The club haven't given a figure, but say it's a long-term deal.
OK, let's go back to that big game at the weekend. Leeds United versus Southampton in the Championship playoff final at Wembley. The winners, of course, promoted to the Premier League.
Well, Chris is at Elland Road. And Chris, you've been speaking to a Leeds legend this week, haven't you?
Tina, legends don't come much bigger than this man, let me tell you. He was part of the great Leeds United team in the 1960s and 70s. I'm talking about Eddie Gray, and earlier on this week, I caught up with him. Caught on camera, Leeds legend Eddie Gray belting out the club's famous anthem, Marching On Together, during last Thursday's win over Norwich.
Before every game, when the crowd starts singing on, marching on together, I must be honest and say the hairs in the back of my neck still stand up.
Eddie Gray. Oh, good footwork by Gray, still going. Oh, what a lovely goal, what a masterly goal by Eddie Gray.
Eddie is a Leeds United legend. He was part of the last Leeds team to win a final at Wembley. That was the FA Cup final way back in 1972.
The cup goes to Billy Bremner and Leeds United.
What's it like to win at Wembley?
Oh, it's great to win at Wembley. But there's no one-off game that can beat Wembley. And it's a great feeling to walk out at Wembley. Huge crowd, great atmosphere, the colours, the different sides, you know, it's just a tremendous occasion for footballers.
And the Greys certainly know a thing or two about footballers. 4 members of the family have played for Leeds. Eddie's brother Frank, Frank's son Andy, and now Andy's son Archie, the 18-year-old who's being tipped for a big and bright future.
If Archie plays, I think he'll handle it well. I think he's got a good attitude towards the game. He loves his football. So hopefully he will play and Leeds United get a result. But this season, I think it's the best atmosphere I've ever known at Ellen Road, ever. You know, I think it's just been tremendous. I mean, all the Leeds United supporters, the people in the city, they've all got behind the manager, the players, and they've responded well so far.
And one big game to go.
One big game to go. It'll be a tough game, there's no doubt about it, because they're a good side. But, you know, there's no reason why we can't go out and win the game.
Will you be singing Marching On Together at Wembley?
If the Leeds United fans are singing it, I'll be singing it.
The brilliant Eddie Gray there. Well, from one Leeds legend to another, I'm joined by the 2-time boxing world champion Josh Warrington and massive Leeds United fan as well. You're going to be down there at Wembley on Sunday, Josh, aren't you? How are you feeling ahead of the game?
Listen, I'm ready. I'm not nervous whatsoever. Listen, it's a massive game, big occasion, but this is what we want as fan supporters. Yes, we could have gone up the easy way, but this is Leeds United. We don't do things easy.
Who likes it the easy way anyway? We want that big celebration, don't we, down at Wembley? All Leeds fans do, don't they? But your last experience at Wembley with Leeds wasn't the best, was it?
Yeah, I mean, I remember going down, what was it, 2008? Played Doncaster Rovers, took over the full stadium. Doncaster's Leeds fans anyway. And yeah,
you might get a few people writing in saying they're not after that, you know.
But it was an appalling performance. You know, there were no real fight. Anyway, yeah, we got beat 1-0. A long drive home after. This time round, there's fight in the team. There's a lot of heart. There's a lot of passion. So we can't look at the past. Let's, you know, we're writing our future going forward, and I think this is our time to rewrite our history. You know, stop all the bogeys from in the past, and I feel that there's going to be celebrations in Leeds on Sunday evening.
Well, one man who knows about fighting is you. You know all about fight, and you've fought in front of some huge crowds, big occasions. How do you handle that big occasion as a professional sportsman?
For me, form and everything goes out the window. It's 90 minutes. Hopefully, if it goes beyond, well, hopefully not hopefully. If it does go beyond that, we've got 120. You know, that's all it is, of being able to give you an absolute optimum. Hopefully they can do it in the 90 minutes. Just play out your skin. Don't feel tiredness. Winning mindset. And just, if a mistake happens, don't worry about it. Just stay focused, stay relaxed, and play like they did last Thursday. And we're winning. We're going up.
Josh, thanks for joining us tonight. He'll be one of 36,000 fans going down to Wembley on Sunday, marching on Wembley.
Come on, Leeds!
I'll tell you what, if you've got the kind of support that you get there from Josh Warrington, they'll do fine.
He could be a coach, so
He should be,
inspirational.
absolutely, absolutely. Right, here's Kerry now with the weather.
Good visibility on the horizon. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Hello again. I guess the good news about a May bank holiday this close to the longest day is that we've got a lot of time for things to get better, or I guess in turn for things to go downhill during the course of the day. It was fairly cloudy today. We are going to see some sunshine. The west is best for that as we head into tomorrow. It will be mixed with showers as we head into Sunday, and those showers could be heavy and thundery, and of course we'll keep you posted through the weekend. An area of low pressure that brought the rain earlier on in the week is now nudging its way northwards, easing off all the while. Some brighter breaks for this evening ahead of this system to the southeast that's going to creep in off the North Sea tonight, and then elsewhere clear spells, and these showery outbreaks from the west are going to edge in by the time we reach the end of tomorrow. So lots going on over the next 24 hours, but actually as we head deeper into tonight, it becomes predominantly dry and clear with light winds. That allows two things: the temperatures to take a little bit of a dip, and certainly in rural sheltered spots we're looking at mid-single figures, and some mistiness as we head through into tomorrow morning. But it should lift quite quickly, of course, with the early sunrises and the long days. 4:49 and 9:18 are your sun times for Saturday. Morning mist thins very quickly, a good dose of sunshine first thing, and then we look to the east for that thicker cloud, eventually some outbreaks of showery rain perhaps later on in the afternoon. West is best for sunshine and warmth, and hopefully drier, brighter conditions for longer. Then, as we head into tomorrow evening and tomorrow night, we look to the southwest. This weather system nudging its way up during the night, really quite showery, and then into Sunday, a mix of warm sunny spells, but showery outbreaks which could be heavy and thundery. Hopefully fewer showers on Monday, more likely in the afternoon, but low pressure in charge throughout next week.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Hello, summer. Piri sponsors ITV Pollen Count.
Well, it's hard to pop just one symbol on for the next few days. Warmer sunny spells after showers will raise the grass pollen counts, especially in the south of the region, but otherwise and further north it will stay low. There you go. Weekend's almost upon us.
A mixed bag.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Karen.
Classic bank holiday weather.
Yeah.
That's it from us for now. I'm back at 10:30. Charlene White is next, but from all of us here, have a great bank holiday weekend.
And
Bye-bye.
good luck, Leeds.
Yeah.